Hello and welcome to this video where I talk about the stages of YouTube and other social media creators. So there are many stages when it comes to YouTube and other social media creators. Basically, they follow into a couple of stages. So the first stage is the kind of stage where you have a full-time job, you do not have much time at all. If you do have a day off from that job, some countries, require a day off. Then you're doing another job, or you volunteer, or all other things. So you don't really have any time regularly to devote to the YouTube channel you have, or the whatever channel you have. So ultimately, you can't really produce content a lot of the time. Maybe you might get a holiday every now and then, and you might, do a bunch of videos which you'll spread out. But a lot of the time, it'll be like one video every single 3 months or so, or maybe longer even. And at this point, you're really not going to make any money at all. In fact, you'll probably be costing money. It is relatively expensive to be certain types of social media creators. Some social media creators, it's free. Other social media creators, no. Obviously, once they start earning money, then they start benefiting from it. But so anyway, the point is, then you go to the next stage, and in this next stage, you might have more regular time off, but it's not a lot of time off though. That's the thing. So this stage, stage 2, it's not. You don't have much time. You're still not earning any money, but you might have a regular, maybe a day off a week, or time off in the evenings. That kind of thing. And at this point, you might make a video every single month, maybe even every single week. That kind of thing, maybe. And who knows, maybe you're a live streamer and you might even go live for an hour every single day. That might be a thing you'll do. But it won't be that much really at the end of the day. Next stage 3, is where you begin to start making money off YouTube. So at this point, you start to, it's like a part-time job sort of thing. It could be in the case of the previous section, you might be earning money, maybe not, but you're not earning that. No, they're not earning enough to make it a part-time job. So stage 3, it's a part-time job for you. You get to start, doing actual kind of full-time work instead of being full-time. So you can do it like part-time, and maybe you only work 3 times a day in non-YouTube stuff or non-social media stuff. Maybe that way. Maybe you do more. You can start reducing your hours and start reducing your days you work. Not on the social media platform. And the next stage, you can now do it full time. You can now go full on, you can do the job. Now, this does not mean you're earning more money. It may, in fact, mean you're earning less money. A lot of people may choose YouTube, and at the start, they'll actually take a massive pay cut because, maybe they were in a job that would pay a lot, and now they're going down to practically the minimum wage. They're able to live by on YouTube, but they're not able to, full on experience what they may have been able to experience in that job. But at this point, it doesn't tend to go on for that long because it's so hard to reach this level. That people who are lucky enough to reach this level are just kind of there's so few in comparison to the whole that it's a lot less competition to rise to the next level. And the next level really is when you start to be able to hire people. So able to pay entire wages of other people. Now, this may not necessarily be full-time wages. This may simply be maybe a couple of hundred per video. You may start be able to spend a good deal of money on your videos, whether that is directly or just through, outsourcing the labor. You can also, these stages generally a relatively long one because, it's sort of, you can start to hire more and more people. You can start to hire editors. You can start to hire, if you do on-camera stuff and you move about, maybe even cameramen, all these things. People can be hired to do all these jobs, making your work less and less on you and more on stuff. And this can obviously increase your video output. Now, of course, at this stage, you have something where you start to earn a lot of money, that you start to basically earn more money than your audience would have. At this point, it starts to become a little bit concerning if you're accepting donations. So, for example, if you have like a membership thing where you can access to, behind the scenes stuff, or even just to support you, or donations, or, all these things. And these things can be problematic because, like, well, you earn more money than the majority of people who are giving you this. So you're taking money from those who have less than you when you already have enough if you didn't have that. And at this point, it starts to get a bit concerning. Now, the next step is where you can actually stop making content. Now, this comes in two parts. This can be really stop making content. Ultimately, you can just retire. You've earned just so much that you can have a lavish lifestyle with the money you've made, and your back catalog will still probably make a good deal of money anyway. Or you can choose option 2, which is to stop making videos yourself. You see, you've got your editors, you've got everyone else, and now you can bring in people to make the content. And at this point, you basically become a content company, effectively. You are no longer producing content yourself, or maybe you are. A lot of YouTubers who do this might have an end screen or something, or they'll come in, once or twice, and they'll do a video or two, or they take part in a video or two. But mostly, this is a problem because you're no longer actually producing content. So people could technically say you've retired from making content, but you technically haven't. Your channel is still there. Your channel is still producing more videos. Your channel is doing all these things, and that's the thing. So ultimately, you're making a lot of content, but you're just not the one making it. You're just the one profiting off it. And at this point, it's really concerning because what you've done is you've turned into a content machine. And a lot of YouTubers may still take part in videos, but they'll have hired so many people that without those people, the content will be almost nothing. And they become so insignificant that it is literally their name that is the only reason why people click on the video that they have any worth. Like, they could be replaced in an instant, except, of course, their name, then people might not follow them. And that, of course, is the issue. So yeah, those are the stages of creators. And yeah, thank you for watching.